Yo and hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. We're going to be doing a little bit of a Cavalier and kind of just boss fight breakdown, best champions to use, those kind of things. I did want to post this video a little bit earlier this week, or if not last week, but there's been a whole host of things to cover in this game. A lot of it kind of like, not so good. Definitely in like a bad state when it comes to MCOC, but you know, always you've got to go back to, you've got to carry on, got to get grinding, play some other games, play this game, try your best. That's it. So let's get on with it, shall we? Now let's begin. Now a few kind of like path clearing options. I don't know if I do a Cavalier cheat sheet this month. I probably will. But yeah, I mean for this, one of the best kind of methods of using some of the champions is taking on Skillful Distraction, Mixed Master, which look, we all know is annoying. The easy path will bring you out and using champions like Falcon, which deals with Mixed Master pretty well, and also any champion that throws shock, and also some of the other things that you need, which is like Incinerate, so yeah, and Disorient. So you could use Nick Fury, you could use Mole Man, you could use a whole host of champions that throw those particular type of effects, especially like Incinerates as well. So yeah, there's loads of champions out there. If you've seen the Cavalier cheat sheet, you'll know exactly some of the best ones to take. When it comes to the boss though, that's another question right there. There's nothing really too major to write home about when it comes to this. Divine Barrier, while fighting Mystic attackers, every 10 seconds on a timer, defender becomes immune to nullify. Got to be honest, it's not too much of an issue. You can rotate around it. So if you do have champions that are Mystic to deal with this, then you don't have to really worry too much. Black Widow Clairvoyance, Sorcerer Supreme, Symbiote Supreme. You know, they're still fine to use against this champion. I don't think it's too much to be like fearful of. And especially with stuff with personal space and hurt lock, it just means you've got to get your rotations better. And also with cornered as well. Again, it's not too bad, especially if you've got champions that don't throw too much when it comes to like debuff effects, and that kind of edges out Black Widow Clairvoyant, but also promotes other champions to use like She-Hulk, especially for dealing with things with the Unstoppable. Depending on what your frustration is with this champion, I don't think it's too much of an issue. And FYI, a write-up of this is in the link in the description. It's in the description. I've just put the full write-up of different champions I use for different things. Also recommended champions for it. Now, look, the quest number 2, so mission 1.2, is all about using science champions. She-Hulk was my go-to. Cap Infinity War is another one. There's so many more that you could be using from the science line, and it's not something really to worry about. When it comes to the end boss as well, against Resistor, you can look to use Dr. Doom, but I've got to be honest, and this is where this champion becomes just a go-to champion. Not the only go-to champion. Medusa, but also Magneto. Yes, there's 3 champions on offer, 3 boss champions that are hashtag metal. Ideal for bringing in your Magneto. He was so nice, so nice. But yeah, champions to deal with Resistor, but if you've got Magneto, use your Magneto. Also maybe keep the champion to the SP1. Look out for those evade timers, which you can't like guess, but yeah, SP1, rinse and repeat. Okay, next up, it's time for a little bit of tech action. I'm personally a massive Warlock fan for this, but there's so many champions on offer for path clearing. I'm an Infinity War, Gating 2099, Hulkbuster to a degree, especially because with this one, and this time it's Engineered Fracture. So whenever a tech attack inflicts a defender with an armor break debuff, the defender is also inflicted with a passive heal block. That's handy with Infectious Wrath, because that's going to be how you build up your lovely Furies, which do great amount of damage. Now, with the end boss, it is Hulk Ragnarok. Hulk Ragnarok doesn't really have much on offer that's going to be too scary. Physical resistance, aggression prowess, power efficiency, long distance relationship, blood in the water. Not really anything that's too dramatic to worry about. And for this particular interaction, you can use, believe it or not, hashtag metal. Yes, he is hashtag metal. So bring in that Magneto for the second fight of this. So it's a great shot, a great champion, I would say, as well for this. Using champions like Crossbones for hashtag hero suppression. Nick Fury can be tons of fun. It's not just about those champions, it's just those ones that I liked the idea the most of when using against this, and champions I would use that in the future. I've got to be honest, Magneto is my go-to for this one because of, you know, what he can do. Get up to SP3, short amount of time, really helps. and especially if for whatever reason you've got things like long distance relationship and other things that are going to be annoying. But Crossbones, I think as well, is kind of great with that because I think he'll be able to shrug off that long distance relationship and be quite effective in the damage dealing potential. Just watch out for when Smash pops up because that's something to be feared. So make sure to kind of like have a look at the crowd building up, and also, you know, just kind of keep your distance around special attacks and you should be fine. Right, now we turn our attention into the Mutant Path, or the Mutant Quest. Seeing Red is back, Biohazard comes with it, and I would say with this one it's important to have champions like we've got over the left hand corner, champions that interact with bleed, not so much with Bishop and Nick Fury. However, though, the reason they're in there is in order to display options against the boss. Yellow Jacket is the boss right there. We've got Arc Overload, we've got Missing in Action, and we've got Enhanced Special 1, and while they're down. And I got to be honest, like I just don't see that this is too much of an issue, especially if you've got yourself, again, Magneto. But do bear in mind, while they're down, each time that the attack is inflicted with a non-damaging debuff, the defender gains a Fury buff granting 120% attack rating for 6 seconds. Now you can look to have champions that interact with buffs, but I would say because of the nature of this particular champion, I think not. Strong Evaders may be good if you're kind of like worrying about the SP1 rotation. Strong Evaders, for example, Nightcrawler, Stark Enhanced Spidey. You could look at one of the Daredevils, like, but then that's like it's pushing it in a different kind of like way. For me, it was a case of Magneto again was kind of like a good option against this. Any kind of champion that has any kind of like shrug off, if you're worried about like being hit by a Yellow Jacket for whatever reason, then you need something like quick shrug off. Crossbones could be a good option to go against this. And as well, you know, Nick Fury is definitely there as a good option, because if we get into that second phase, if you are stunned for whatever reason, then at least to say that you will be able to shrug it off. So that's something. Magneto, as I said, is a great option, and Bishop maybe for his little charging. But the ones that I've mentioned are probably a bit better for this because of their stun shrugging off capabilities. Now onto the Cosmic Root. Cosmic Grit is named again, and Pumping Iron. So essentially with this, it's all about building buffs. Some of the best champions for building buffs and building them quickly. Some I've got in the team here on the left hand side, some I've not. And also some of them are there for the boss, which we'll explain about in a minute. Medusa, Odin, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Hyperion obviously is the god of this. Angela and Venom, to name but a few. But there are a lot more cosmic champions that get buffs quickly, which build amplitude, which then are able to smash a load of damage. Hercules is a bit of an annoying fight, depending on the way that you look at it. I mean, for me, I did make a mistake the first time I went off against this because I kind of felt like I was using the wrong champions. And I went against the grain of what I put in my side event best champions video, which was Archangel. Archangel I should have put in. That's hence why I've got him on the left hand side to remind me about that. You can use Nick Fury. Nick Fury is great in phase 2 with the extent of damage that he can do with bleed. Yes, there's restrictions that the champion has with bleed. Like, you know, Hercules doesn't take that quite so much damage from bleed. But that's not the point. What the point is from this one is interaction around the rotations of things like unblockable. When he goes unblockable and he's built up those tactical charges and he is doing, you know, so much more damage, rotating and just getting damage high up, then it does massively help out with this particular interaction. Tigra, you name it, there's so many champions that can be used against Hercules. In some ways it does feel like a long fight. There will be some stuff there. I think is it Feat of Endurance kind of makes it feel like the champion is a bit stronger than he is. Empowered Immunity I think is good because when you're playing as his champion, I think the easiest thing to look out for is when he does special attacks, because then you can then like charge in after it. The end point of his special attacks is when he's like fists. First of all, I think it was the SP1 is like fist smack in. The SP2, it's like it's up, and then as soon as he smacks, and it's like smacks downwards, it's then a case you can go back in again. It's like I'll probably put up some slow mode stuff of that, and then that's the point of like running and keeping up the pressure. It's just that when I think I did it, I didn't use the right champion at the time. And as I said, I've already used options in the side event, but I decided not to because I wanted to test out some champions and kind of go like, oh, does it have to be this one, or does it have to be that one? We've also got Make a Stand. The defender has indefinite protections, reducing all damage received by 90%. This goes on cooldown for 15 seconds when when knocked down. So it's like you're always trying to like knock him down. So it's like trying to get a heavy attack in a rotation, and that may be the thing of timing. And that's the other thing. It depends if you want to go down that route to time it, or you want to do special attack rotation in order to do it. So that's really the thing there. Champions that get quick power. There could be good options to like rotate around special attacks. I think a lot of champions work, but you just have to be very careful, especially when it comes to things like empowered immunity, and just watch out for that. That's something to bear in mind right there. But if you do that, you should be fine. Now moving on to the final mission. This is when Mystic champions are the most prevalent ones to use. With having Arcane Zeal, I'm not a massive fan of Arcane Zeal, I've got to be honest. There's other Mystic nodes that they put in Cavalier difficulty, but I actually prefer a little bit more. So Arcane Zeal with Steady Perseverance. When the defender activates a special attack, they gain a stun immunity buff. Not great. This buff is paused during the defender's special attacks. Whenever a Mystic attacker feels bar power, they gain a passive prowess, increasing their special attack damage. And nullifying a buff from a defender converts all temporary prowess passives into indefinite ones. I got to be honest, as I said, I just don't like that. I don't think it's as consistent to build. Yeah, we can build it. It's just I don't think that it's as consistent and as effective to build it. But in any case, America Chavez. This champion is not so much annoying, but it's a case of rotations need to be quite specific, and there's maybe power control champions may be good options against this. So that may be the champions you go for. Like you could go Archangel route, you could go Human Torch route, and that's fine. Yeah, if that's what you're into, then do it. But then you could go a different route and say, right, well we go the Doctor Dooms, we go Black Widow Clairvoyance, we go with the Magiques, you go any power control, Psylocke. You name it. You could even use Hawkeye on like SP1 rotation, but that's just going to be down to like what you're interested in taking against this particular fight. And yeah, like I do recommend Doctor Doom. I do recommend Black Widow Clairvoyant, and more so with Magic as well, because I just think that's kind of good for rotation. But with this one, it's just a case of like parry heavy, kind of like knock off the protection, and then you're able to kind of like build from there. Easier with power control champions, and special attacks. Yeah, come at you a little bit fiercely, so it's not as easy as Hercules, but I'm sure that this is a very doable thing for most players. There we go, that's been my top picks of champions to use, so on the paths, and also when it comes to boss counters. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button. Make sure to catch some recent content posted up on screen right now. That's recent content. And also Rich's Revolution, which is the Marvel Future Revolution channel, which I do plan to work on quite a bit on the weekend. And hopefully I have about 5 videos to post for next week. As I'm just slowly getting some content out of the progression from level 1 to level 100. And then other stuff as well.